news to talk about today. There we go. Boom. All right. So this was reported off of VRFocus.com, written by Kevin Joyce. Sony patent reveals a new motion control technologies. Could a new PlayStation Move be on the way? Two new patents filed by Sony Interactive Entertainment (SIE) suggest that a new motion controller could be on the way, specifically designed to boast interactive nature of the company's virtual reality VR platform, PlayStation VR. Not only does this potential revision have the existing PlayStation Move controller add an analog stick, a match requested feature of the PlayStation VR community, but also a finger trigger tracking technology. The first patent filed by SIE in Japan and published earlier this month shows an addition of an analog stick with several face-mounted buttons placed in a surrounding casing, as well as a trigger line underneath. A hand strap all sits alongside the controller, opposed to being attached to the bottom as with existing PlayStation Move controllers. I'm not surprised, honestly, because when it comes to VR for Sony right now, the only thing that they use for motion control is the actual controller itself. They don't have a particular. I think I could be wrong.
I was like they do. You use the PlayStation Move.
Okay. Oh, so
if they're coming out with a new design that's more in like with what Vive and Oculus have, that's great. I'm just saying, like, they do have. You can use the the Move controllers. As a matter of fact, if you buy the VR headset, it comes with two Move controllers, so that way it can see you.
Was the Move controllers were debuted in PS3 era, right?
Yeah, I mean they came out with newer versions, which is what this has. But
okay, this makes total sense. Then this is an updated version of what that is.
Because they're gonna want to come out with more, like a game like what you're showing right now. Doesn't really work with the Move controllers. This game is specifically designed to use a PlayStation controller.
Mm-hmm.
So as cool as it is in VR, it's more of like a sit still and play. Because something that I've learned while playing VR when I was in, Hutch's house in North Carolina through Half Empty Energy Tank, just to clarify who the hell I'm talking about. When I was playing it, the biggest problem was that if I had a game where I used the controller's joystick to move the character's head while also I could move my head, I was going to vomit everywhere. And I don't get seasick. I don't get motion sickness. Like that stuff gave me motion sickness. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard a lot of people complain about that too. So it would be nice to have more. Here's the thing. A game to me, like what you're showing now, or some of the other games that I've seen pop out for VR, it seemed like it's that same situation where a studio made a movie and then added 3D to it. Not that it was filmed in 3D.
Yeah.
Because the game doesn't feel like it was meant to be played in 3D. They were just like, or VR, they were just like, oh, it would be really cool if we could add VR to it, VR support. And it's like, the game wasn't built around it though. So
yeah. It's gonna take some. It's gonna take some studios to make games that are specifically made for VR and not just an add-on.
I think with the addition of these controllers, that'll be a bigger output.
And at the very least, it should make it easier for developers to work around this new controller, rather than the ones they have with the what they have now with the Move for the PS4. I think
the Move controllers they just don't work as well. Like they don't have the same capabilities. Plus, like Vive and Oculus have two sensors that go up in the corners of your room to get everything, and then they detect not only where the controllers are, but where the headset is. The problem with PSVR is that it's a camera that sits on top of the TV and sees like the front of the VR and the two balls that are on top of the PlayStation Move controllers, or the front like triangle piece on the regular controller.
Right.
Here's where the additional problem comes. If you're in a 3D space within the VR and you turn all the way around, PSVR loses you.
Wow. Okay.
So So I really, really hope. My point is, I really hope that PlayStation, not with just these controllers, creates more stuff that makes the VR better.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like this was going to come regardless. I think that, again, like we keep asking this question when VR was becoming more of a thing in the game industry, and was VR going to be much more than a flash in the pan, or was it going to be here to stay? And from the sales numbers of what Sony had put out there about how many VRs they've sold, they've done quite well. They are quite surprised of like the support they're getting for VR and the interest in it.
Well, yes, but at the same time, they're not. It's still not selling where they want it to. That's where the problem lies.
Are you talking about universally or just with Sony?
Universally and just with Sony.
Okay.
Like, they would like it to sell double what it is currently. So, yeah. And again, the issue is that it's expensive. It's very expensive. It's like you have to buy.
That's true. I mean,
well, like if you have a regular PS4 and you have it, it doesn't work as.
Right. And it was recently. I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was not Vive, but Oculus put like lowered down their price recently, and I think Vive might be doing the same thing. I'm not too sure on it.
Yeah, I think it was Oculus went from 800 to 600, so real cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's definitely, the barrier is just a price point. If the barrier can be much lower to where people can get it at an affordable price, then I could see it,
I personally think that the Vive and the Oculus will fail, and I'll explain why briefly. Whereas where the PlayStation 1 has the chance to succeed.
You mean PS4?
I said PlayStation 1 is what I said.
Oh.
Like the PlayStation version.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, what, PS1? What?
Yeah, not like Xbox One, but the PlayStation version.
Right.
Accessibility is key. With the Vive and the Oculus, you need to have a modicum of understanding of how computers work to get the Vive or Oculus to run. I watched Brian work on the computer for 2 hours trying to get the Vive to read the sensors and stuff. If you are like a super layman when it comes to, just a little bit of a layman when it comes to computers, you're fucked. But with the PlayStation, it's plug and play. It really is quite plug and play.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a huge factor. If Microsoft can cash in on that, and PlayStation can cash in on that, that's where VR could succeed. On PC, it's a much steeper hill to climb for most people.
I could see Valve being okay not having a successful VR machine because I'm here. Can you hear me?
Anthony?
Hello?
What is happening?
What? Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Am I still alive? Can you hear me? I can hear you. Hang on, guys. Technical difficulties. Can you hear me? Greg. Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we lost Greg. Yeah, I hear him too. Here, hang on. I'm gonna do this real quick. Gonna leave call and going to come back. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there. So I'll end it on this last thing I was gonna say before Greg got cut out. I think that Valve is okay if this becomes a failure for them. They've done it with their own console they're trying to make, the Steam machines that didn't work out. And Valve is a big enough company to where they're making tons of money, so I don't think it's gonna be too much of a problem. But I don't think it'll be much of an issue. I think this will definitely affect Oculus if they do fail, because that was their main thing. That was their main thing they were going for.
I don't think that they'll fail anytime soon because they're small. They're technically small businesses, right, and they have enough people buying them. But I just don't think that they'll become a thing to the extent that like they're not going to be as successful as other things. Is my point.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on to our next topic.
before we start, can you screen cap?